Suzanne Dean, our next speaker. Suzanne has always loved to help people. That's what you get when you get old. She began her career as a youth worker in her 20s. And after changing the lives of many teenagers, she wanted to extend those skills further and impact adults too, especially those in the business world. Over the course of her career, Susan realized the power of story and how its universal language could transform people's lives. In the last decade, Susan made one of the best decisions of her life to establish a multimedia publishing company and broadcast inspiring and worthy story all over the world. That's her mission every day, to give stories worldwide everlasting exposure and appeal. It gives me a great pleasure and a great honor to welcome to the stage Suzanne Dean. Please welcome. Thank you.
Story has been with us since the beginning of time. From caveman drawings to Dreamtime stories to Once Upon a Time. I remember when I was a youth worker, I was working with a young girl. She had had such a traumatic life, something you just couldn't even imagine, something that a life of a child should never endure. And I remember nobody could connect with her until one day I sat down and I shared with her a story of a friend. This friend had also had a childhood that wasn't as she had dreamed. But what she did was share how she started to dream about a life regardless of the past. She decided to dream about what she could do, so she drew a line in the sand and started to write what she would like her life to be in the future. As I shared this story with this girl, she started to light up. She started to see hope. She said, "Do you think I could, like your friend, create a life that I wanted for myself?" And just in that moment, I realised the power of story. See, I had so many stories myself that I'd learnt through life. Being a wife, being a mother, things that I'd learned in business, things that I had learned that had shaped my life. And there was so many other people that had shared stories with me that I knew if they just shared their stories forward, they could also have an impact in the world. See, everybody has a story. And if they just share them forward, we could all make a difference, because we've all been born, we've all gone through different things in our life. So if we just get our stories, we can truly share them forward to help another. See, each human being is unique and original, and no one's lived what we've lived. If we can just trust that our stories deserve to be told, and we may just discover the best that we tell them, the better that we can live them. This is the face of the girl who was the Akubra hat model. Her name is Dolly. She was bullied, and through cyberbullying, she chose to take her own life at just the age of 14. Angie decided that that was not on, because Angie too was bullied when she was just born at 1 kilo and grew to not her full height. She shared her story. She took the courage to share forward all her learnings that she had discovered from her lifetime of being bullied. ABC News shared that around so her offer of advice and help could stop such tragedies as Dolly. She wanted to just help one person, she said when she wrote her story. And I remember when she shared with me about a little boy that wasn't going to school. He didn't want to go because he was being bullied, and after reading Angie's story and watching her story, he got up and he went to school. But the best part was the mother and the grandmother who rang her and said how it had changed their life. See, we don't know what the stories and ripple effect will do. And the point is, when we are trying to help people make change, whether that be in our business and we want them to choose us, 85% of decisions are made by emotion and only 15% of logic. So entwine your story into your why. so that people can be touched, moved, and inspired by what it is that you've got to share. And what is your why? What do you stand for in the world? Like Angie, no more bullying. Maybe you've gone through some struggles in life or business. Maybe you've had some wins that you could share with others. Maybe you've learned something and become an expert in your field. Or maybe there's just some injustice in the world that you want to change. So your time on earth, how are you going to spend it? Are you going to take all those lessons with you after you leave this earth? Or are you going to share them with the world and make a difference? Because we are only on this earth for a very short amount of time. So the time that you've spent on earth, you've learnt a lot of things. If you share them forward, you just don't know the life that you may save. So your story matters. Every one of you here have a story. Every one of you here have learnt something in life or in business. So I encourage you to all share forward your teachings, because I believe if we all share forward our teachings, together we can change the world.